There's no longer white-collar jobs. They are nowhere to be found. The population is increasing on a daily basis, and the government cannot provide all the needed jobs for the bulbing youths.
It's the doctor that the patient has to get a prescription for. The reason is that when the patient comes, the patient gets a card and is directed to see the physician.
Not that I mean to undermine polytechnics, they do a good job, but university education is actually more valuable.
Hello viewers, I am delighted to welcome you to this week's edition of Crossfire, reaching you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, ACNNTV. I am Olusegun Akinola. Remember, Crossfire is a program that treats controversial topics on diverse issues surrounding the church and the society. And our focus this week is on the church. We are considering a very crucial topic: women ordination in the Anglican Church in Nigeria. As some of us may know, women ordination has been a controversial issue. However, the Anglican Communion worldwide has been ordaining women as clergy since the 1970s. Now some are even bishops, but not just in the Western world, but right here in Africa. We have Kenya, in Southern Africa, where the primate is a woman. We also have in Uganda and Ghana. So what exactly is happening to the Anglican Church in Nigeria? To discuss this crucial topic with me in the studio are Miss Ama Peppel, a diocesan lay reader at the Cathedral Church of the Advent, and also a Bible study teacher. Mommy, you're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. And also we have Princess Nana Ngozi Dahiru, a Bible study teacher at the Anglican Church of the Resurrection, Nduboyi. Mommy, you're welcome, ma'am.
Thanks.
I think it's time for us to get right into the discussion. Mommy Peppel, I will start with you on this very wonderful topic on women ordination. Why exactly do you support women ordination, and what do you think women have to add to the ministry of the church that needs them to be ordained?
Okay, thank you. I'll start with the second question. Okay. What can they offer? And I will say everything.
Everything.
And then for women, why do I support it? I know that, and you know also, that many women are intelligent, they are capable, they are qualified, they are talented, they are spiritually gifted, and they participate in church work with passion and a lot of dedication and commitment. You also know that no program in any church will be successful without the women folk. Harvest, Carnival for Christ, Way of the Cross, revival programs, you name it. We have the numbers, and we have those who are willing to contest. You know, the Bible also tells us, Joel 2:17, that your sons and daughters will prophesy. And then we find also, like Jesus, when he was doing his ministry, there are a lot of women who were supporting his work. Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Susanna. When the gifts were given, all the gifts given, is given to all equally. There was no discrimination. When the Holy Spirit came, there was no discrimination. At the foot of the cross, when the men ran away, the women were there waiting, including Mary's mother. And there's never been any scandal about any female priest.
Okay.
And I believe another thing women can bring is better organization, stability, patience, love, more care, more sympathy. The first evangelist in the Bible was a woman, the woman of Samaria that Jesus met at the well. At that time, he hadn't even sent his disciples out. They hadn't started preaching Christ. But immediately this woman met Jesus. She went into the town and started telling everybody that come and see somebody who told me everything about myself. She abandoned her water pot. That evangelism was a priority for her, and she went for it.
Okay.
So I think for now,
yes. Mommy Dairo has been smiling since. I'm sure she has something to add there. So, in your own opinion, I mean, do you agree with all of that? Say, women have been supporting the ministry of Jesus. The first evangelist was a woman. So, what are your thoughts? Do women have to be ordained?
No.
Okay, please.
The women actually supported the ministry of Christ.
Okay.
So well. Supported the ministry of the apostles. But they were never called apostles.
Okay.
No. They were never made apostles in the Bible. What we are discussing here is spiritual matter.
Okay.
Not politics, not social.
Yeah.
Yes. We have to take everything we are doing in the Church of God from the Bible.
Okay.
Anglican Communion is still a Bible-living church. I think one of the best today in the whole world.
Yes.
When you go to Genesis chapter 2, God did not create Adam and Eve the same day.
Okay.
When he molded the mud to make Adam, he breathed on him.
Okay.
When he molded Eve, he did not breathe on Eve. He picked Adam's dreams
Ribs and made her.
and made her. God has been speaking. It is very clear. In the church, as my sister said, women, without women in the church
Yes.
cannot move.
Yes.
We better remain in that supportive position. My other reason why I said women are more temperamental than men.
And men. Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You will see a male priest. He may receive message of tragic message concerning his family
Yeah.
at the pulpit. He will comport himself and preach and come down.
Okay.
A woman, I can't imagine me standing at the pulpit.
On the pulpit.
That you tell me my son is involved in an accident. That sermon has ended.
Yes.
We must be realistic. There's nothing wrong with women. God, the way God created us is like that. And when you talk about women being priests in other parts of the world, check Nigerian women and check their counterparts, even in African countries.
Okay.
Are we the same?
Okay. That's
Let us be sincere
interesting.
ourselves.
Mm.
Are we the same? We are not.
Mm.
We are not the same. So
Okay.
women should be left. Even Paul in the Bible told us that women are not to be had in the church.
Okay, before we get into that one, it will develop into that. I'm sure Mommy wants to react to that. I was thinking from the passage, Genesis passage she talked about,
Yes.
women created later on.
Yes.
And then also the comment she made about
Of course.
Nigerian women
Yes.
being quite different from
Other women
other
in the
kinds of
world.
women. I mean, what's your
I
reaction to that?
don't, women, human beings, let
Yes.
me say, all over the world, we
Yes.
are the same. We have the same brain. We have the same intelligence.
Talk about the temperament too.
The temperaments, men are also temperamental. It's not, it depends on the individual.
Every
There are
person.
people who are more composed than others. And I said earlier that you have never heard anything about scandal from any of the female priests. But think of the male priests,
All kinds of
there are
stuff.
all sorts of scandal. I don't want to mention, you know.
Don't you think bringing them into the ordained ministry will not cause more issues, that they are now closer to the priest now? The issue of scandals.
No. Because when we are choosing people we bring in, we should choose mature women,
Okay.
not young
Not
people.
young people. So-
Mature people who are able to, they have managed their homes, they have reached a particular level in their lives, even their working lives. They are able to manage men and material and relationships, you know, so they don't get into funny situations.
Now, just before I interrupted Mommy Dahiro, she was already talking about Paul's comments and all of that, and I want you to respond to that too, because the Bible has given such indications, like Paul said in 1 Corinthians 14:34, it says, let women keep silent in churches. In also 1 Timothy 2:11 and 12, he makes it clear, let women learn quietly. Do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. So what
If
are
you
your
want
comments
to
concerning
stretch that, both
Yes.
of us shouldn't be Bible teachers. We shouldn't
Okay.
be. And then the passage from Paul, if you look at verse 35, it says, if they want to know anything further, they should ask their husbands. Who said that husbands know more about the Bible and spiritual things than women?
Exactly.
If you have a program, you see, they had to force men even in my church, to come and arrange themselves to sing carol during our Christmas carol service. They have to force them to come and form a men's fellowship, you know, but the women are always ready to serve. And with that kind of passion and fervor in them, I think you can make a lot. And let's remember that when these things were written, it was based on the culture and tradition of the Jewish people. At the time, most Jewish priests, they were male. In accordance with Judaism and Mosaic law, they were all male, you know. And it was written at a time when there was male domination. Women generally at the time were not so educated, they were not exposed, and their culture did not allow them to go out. So they were excluded in many things. Remember when Jesus fed the 5,000? They said 5,000. Besides
women and children.
Women and children.
Yes.
So they were not even reckoning with women at the time. And it is the same discrimination we find even in governance today.
That's true.
I remember, I think during the military time, they say appoint commissioners. All the states, male, they had to give instruction for them to make sure they appoint one female commissioner in each state, and they all adhere to that one. Tell me, even today is it the percentage or the ratio of men, qualified, educated, capable women to men?
Yes.
You know, it's just that discrimination, and at the time it was their culture. You know?
That's true. That's true. So, Mommy Dairo, still following on that, because we already started talking about it, about the way Paul talks about these issues in relation to women not speaking in churches. Does it apply?
Before I talk that, I got that.
Okay.
Remember, God said that everything will pass away. Every word in this book, the Bible will never pass away. When you check churches today, even our own Anglican communion, anywhere you find crisis involving a priest, if there are 10, 6 of it are started by the wives. They are fired by the wife of the priests. Not to talk of when they are the priests themselves. We have to be sincere to ourselves. There are women in this country, in this Nigeria, that if we make them a priest, we will not have crisis. But they are very few. Where do you find them? Where do you find them? In every church that there is crisis and it involves the priest, the wife is the head. Because they are there to gossip. They are there to be, they are envious of those who they feel they dress better than them. It's just the nature of women and Nigerian women.
Very specific on Nigerian women.
My sister, whom I respect so much, said there have never been crisis, scandal about women priests. When we were talking about Anglican communion. But in other churches, there have been series of scandals. When a man accuses a priest, a pastor's wife, his pastor, his wife that is a pastor, of adultery with a younger person in the church, they divorce, they later married. I will not mention the church. There have been series of scandals. Those new generation churches where you see women, when you go close there, it's only about 10% of them that doesn't have one crisis or another. But the way God created us, we are better to serve, supportive, serve. Without women in the church, nothing will go, just as my sister have said. But not that mantle. The will of God will be done in everything we are saying. But me as a person, if I have the authority, women will never be ordained priests in Anglican communion in Nigeria.
So it's better to just support.
Look at when you this my sister have traveled wild. As a minister, she travels out of the country. She travels with the first lady, she travels with the president. A president wife somewhere else will dress like just a clerk in an office, and she's doing her work. Our own is 7 and 8. The greed alone, our lifestyles, we must be sincere to ourselves. Even in Nigeria today, Anglican Church is still the envy of every Christian. Yes.
Thank you.
can I just butt in there?
Quickly, yes,
because there's no data to show that the crisis in the churches are caused by the priest wife. I think in my experience in the Anglican Church, most of our the priest wives are very mature and they behave very well. But I think I want to sound a note of caution.
I didn't say, get me right. I didn't say every crisis.
Yes, but you just said
most of the crises.
Yes. But we don't have data to support that.
No, there is data. He knows what I'm saying. There is data. He knows what I'm saying. If the primate is watching us now, he knows what I'm saying.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because we have this thing in us, women.
Another thing, you're talking about how we dress. I think it's part of our culture. Okay. When we present yourself, a president's wife, even me, small me as a minister, have to. It doesn't have to be expensive or lavish or lascivious, but I have to dress in a respectable manner that will give me respect in front of the people I go to, especially when I go to international conferences.
I'm not even a minister. Even in my small office, I dress well. But the contentment is not there for Nigerian women.
Okay, we'll
that again is debatable.
We'll build up on this debate very briefly as we go on a short break.
God will help us.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. This has been Crossfire, and we have been looking at the issue of women ordination in the Anglican Church in Nigeria. And with me in the studio has been Miss Ama Pepple, who is a lay reader at the Cathedral Church of Advent, and also Princess Nana Ngozi Dahiru, who is also a Bible study teacher at Anglican Church of Resurrection in Dubois. Thank you, mommies, for being with us so far. Let me come back to you, Mommy Pepple. We've been talking about women ordination and looking at the Anglican Church, but do we have other denominations that we can actually compare with in Nigeria to say, okay, this is the way they have been doing it, why can't we also do it that way?
Of course, you know
yes.
that Baptist Church, Methodist Church, Presbyterian, and like you said, even Anglican Church of England, they have ordained women, they've become bishops. I know a few women, I was given an award in the Methodist Church. I was happy. I went there and I saw two women. I met two women that day. They said they are presbyters. Their next position is bishop. And I trained to be TEE. Lay reader, we did exams, and the one for priests. In fact, the day my colleagues were ordained, I preached the sermon in December 1998.
Wonderful.
You know, one of us is a bishop today.
Wonderful.
One of my classmates, and I was best in all the exams we took. So, if the church disregards us, you are disregarding a very important section of the church that will help. They created Eve to be a helper to Adam. We will still continue to be a helper to the male priest. You know, I'm not worried. I'm happy as I am. I made up my mind to serve God, and I teach in the church. Sometimes they help me. They make me conduct services, even baptism service. I can read part of it. I may not do the actual baptism. These other women, they also preach. They teach. They baptize, they can consummate marriages. I remember chairing the committee on singing in vernacular in this diocese. And then we decided that, okay, other people are doing it, nothing wrong with it. And since we started mixing English and vernacular, Hausa, the languages, heaven has not fallen. The Anglican communion is still intact today. It has not changed anything. We should be careful. Because now people, I remember now I celebrated my 70th birthday, they sang in my language and I really danced, and I think it enriched the service. Some of the discrimination against women, let it not affect new converts, you know, because all that churches are doing, their churches are still intact. Nothing has happened. They have not broken up because of that. Neither has the level of their spiritual growth become less.
Okay. Omi Dairu, you know, you've been talking about Nigerian women, you know, our temperament here and all of that. Because all these other countries, Mommy has mentioned them, even those ones right here in Nigeria, it is working, you know. So in light of this contemporary movement, you know, women empowerment, women should, you know, more percentage in the government and all of that, why do you really think it can't work in a church, especially the Anglican Church?
You know Living Faith Church?
Yes, Living Faith.
It's one of the largest churches in Nigeria today. No woman priest there. Not even the...
None of their pastors?
No pastor, no woman pastor. Not even the founder's wife.
Okay.
Not even the founder's wife.
That is just Living Faith. Other churches, they have their women as the, the assistant bishop or the oh, that is like that.
Is that right?
Well,
we are proud in Anglican. Look at our Mamenka Silbi coordinating us, the women. The bishop's wife coordinating their dioceses. The vicar's wife coordinating their churches. I think that is the best that could happen to us.
Okay.
This woman denying women of their rights that we talk here. We're talking about church, we're not talking about politics, we're not talking about government of the Nigeria. We are not talking about the world. We are talking about the church. I cannot stop it. I'm not God. If it's the will of God today, Anglican Communion Nigeria will ordain women.
Yes.
But if he asks me, if God asks me before you do it, I will say, don't do it.
Okay.
In any case,
yes, sir.
This...
You see our churches, even in Abuja here, the archdeacon is in good rapport with all his vicars under him. You will see archdeacon's wife and the priest's wife under.
Not in good terms with everybody.
You see them making superiority. Just wife, we are not yet. In my home diocese where Canada is the same all over. My Akopa diocese all over. Let us pray, but there are still few women,
of course,
like as my sister has rightly said. How do you pick them?
How do you pick
when you pick those few women that we can vouch for, there are decent and honorable women in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like I can talk of her even behind her. I wish she wasn't here so that I can say yes, but I won't talk about her. See, there are women that they command respect. In their homes, they have respect.
Yes.
They respect themselves as a woman. They respect themselves as a woman. They can, but how many are they? And once you mark you that once you start this thing, anybody that has passed the exam, you must ordain him or her. You must ordain her.
Yes.
Her character, whom she is not minding.
I don't know.
The Church of God has gone through too many persecutions. The ones we bring and ones outsiders bring. I think we better leave the Church of Anglican Communion for now as it is.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that, you know, if you have women priests, women bishop, it doesn't stop the primate's wife, the bishop's wife, the archdeacon's wife, the vicar's wife from performing the role that she will normally as a bishop or an archdeacon's wife perform. And I know in our church experience, I've been an Anglican all my life, Anglican primary, secondary school, Anglican all my life. I'm a condemned Anglican. And I know that the priest wives, they take their cues, you know, even when they sit in the church. None of them will want to disrespect the one, even if they are the same canon. The canon knows when this one was ordained and when this one, they know their seniority level.
So I think that is where she's now raising up the issue that when you now ordain one of them as a woman, the wife of another one who might be like the vicar, and he has an assistant who is a woman, maybe she won't want to respect such a person who is already ordained. She will say she's the wife of the vicar.
It will not. It doesn't happen like that. You know that it doesn't happen. Anglican Communion has rules and regulations that guide whatever we do. I don't think we're confused church that people can just write up and do what. I know bishops that have been disciplined because of things that happened in their diocese, their priests and all that. And when you come, there are things you do, canonical disobedience, and you'll be disciplined for it. Church of God Mission, they even have bishop, you know. family worship center. They have
it's a
bishops.
woman
The woman is at the head, and they have other priests.
think
So I think we should go with the time, change, positive change, and everybody better off for it.
Yes.
I'm not complaining. I'm okay.
Yes, I know. We
How many
understand.
years? I'm not bothered really.
Okay. Now, Mommy, what she's trying to say now, yes, the church is good. It's okay. Everything is working fine, but it can actually be better. There's room for improvement. There's
Women
room
ordination.
Yes, for women ordination. So
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I will never think so. But I know, just as I said, we are just saying as human beings, if it's the will of God, women ordination can start tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But if it's the will of God, my sister has done everything. She's a reserved person.
Yes.
I'm more a public person than her. I'm more a grassroots than her. So what of the things I'm saying? If we discuss this from the perspective of ourselves, it will not work. Let's look at the Anglican communion, the crop of women, the caliber of women, the type of women, even our younger women coming up now, how disciplined are they?
I have said
Priesthood.
you should give a chance to matured
Mature,
women.
first of all, and
yeah,
then we can
then
look for
and
them.
then
But God will help
what
us.
she's saying. The women they are also enemies. That's why we can't have women governor. We can't have women president. Even senators and legislators because of this. When somebody comes, you start saying, "Is it not this one? Is it not that one?"
Even the
We
women
start gossiping.
legislators, the
They
few
will
we have,
never.
how many women have they helped?
Have they helped? Well, you
I'm
see,
a politician.
That's another issue altogether.
How many have they helped? The moment they enter there, they won't see you again.
Exactly.
I'm a politician.
That depends on individuals.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So let us
Yes.
leave that. It's,
Thank you. Thank you so much, mommies, for.
I wish
your-
I wish Nigerian Anglican Communion,
Yes.
Nigeria, to move on
Yes.
the way they are.
Yes. But
We are
not
doing well.
But not to
The
ordain.
other churches envy us. Let us be sincere.
Okay. Thank you so much, mommies. Thank you, mommy. Women were a vital part of Jesus' ministry, a vital part
Yeah, they are
of
never
the role of the
apostles.
church, even in a time of Paul. And they still play a large role in even our churches and our society today. I even dare to say maybe even more than men.
Yes.
However, should the office of priesthood be open to women? This is still a pressing issue in the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, which has been addressed several times in the past and may still be addressed in the future. But it is not the hood that makes the monk. So also it is not the collar or cassock that makes one a clergy. The important thing for us is to know that we can fulfill our ministry without the collar. We are profoundly grateful to our guests, Mommy Pepple, Mommy Dahiro. Thank you for being with us today. Pray the Lord will bless you.
Amen.
And we'll also thank you, our loyal viewers, for tuning in again. We would like to get your opinion on the program via text messaging on the numbers on your screen. You can send your comments on social media platform. Till we meet again, God bless you, and may you fulfill your calling and ministry. Goodbye.